What is up, Giants fans? Good morning. It is 7 of 7. I am late to work once again, but I do not care because I am my own boss pretty much. But anyway, welcome. Good morning. It is a Wednesday morning. The sun is shining, not on the baseball gods because baseball is locked out. That commissioner is a tool. But anyway, just want to hop on here. Yesterday was day one of the NFL scouting combine, in which teams, their scouts, their general managers, their head coaches, all fly down to Indianapolis, boring old Indy, to watch a bunch of college players run drills that really don't tell if they're good at football or not. Very boring stuff. I never really like to watch the combine unless it's like a quarterback drill or wide receiver drill or the 40-yard dash. Those are really the only three things I'll watch. Other than that, it's pretty boring. So I'll just leave it to the Giants GM and the scouts to do their due diligence, searching for the next star for the New York Giants. But I'm on here today. Joe Schoen did meet, as well as Brian Dable, did meet with the news media ahead of the combine start. And he was asked a lot of questions. A lot of great questions, a lot of good answers he gave back. If you missed any of that, I believe it's still on Giants.com, so go check it out. It's not too long. Both conferences just collectively put together just the best questions. But it's on Giants.com. So yeah, go check it out if you missed that yesterday. Joe Schoen, man, what can I say? He is Joe Cool. He is just that dude. And speaking of that dude, New York sports beat writer Art Stapleton tweeted yesterday that I retweeted on my Twitter and Instagram. He said a agent, unsolicited, came up to him and told him, quote, unquote, Joe Schoen is that dude. He said that in his years of covering the team during Gettleman's tenure, no one once came up to him and told him Gettleman is that dude, which means Joe Schoen is earning a lot of brownie points and a lot of respect around the league among executives, among head coaches, and among other sports agents and player agents. So that's always a good sign. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel warm inside that Joe Schoen is known around the league as that dude. Yeah, we never really had that praise when we hired Dave Gettleman to be our general manager. So it does make me feel good that we are maybe in the right direction when we hire Joe. Other than that, he was asked a bunch of questions. He was asked about Daniel Jones. I'll get back to that real quick. He was asked about Saquon Barkley. He said, is anyone tradable? And Joe Schoen, just being politically correct as he always is, he said, this is a business. This is a football team. I will not close the door on anything. Trades, I'm open to any discussion. Anything is possible. If I feel that I'm getting a great deal out of it and it's just too good of a deal to turn down, I will do what I have to do in the best interest of the Giants for tomorrow and for the future. He keeps mentioning the future. It sounds like he plans on being the GM for quite some time, which if he pulls this off, if we are good like the job he did in Buffalo along with Brandon Beane, hell, he can be our GM for the next 20-25 years. I don't care. He's young, he's enthusiastic about the job, he has a hard work ethic. But yeah, so basically he said anyone's tradable. He needs a clear cap. He mentioned that once again, that doesn't really believe in the whole restructuring of contracts, because that really doesn't clear cap space in a hurry, as opposed to trading or releasing a player. So I don't expect many restructures. If a player is not willing to take a pay cut, his ass is gone. That could be James Bradbury. There's another rumor swirling that Logan Ryan they might part ways with Logan Ryan, which I'm all for. I mean, I like Logan Ryan as a person, South Jersey native like myself. But he's old. He's really not that good anymore. He's making too much money for his position. I'd rather go the younger route. So he's on the board. Saquon Barkley's apparently mentioned as he's a tradable. He didn't really mention him by name. But back to the Daniel Jones. This is what the video is going to be all really about. They asked him about Daniel Jones and if Joe Schoen is interested in bringing any competition to the quarterback room. And Joe Schoen addressed it as Daniel Jones is the Giants quarterback right now, which right now is a very, very telling sign that either A, the Giants and Joe Schoen are evaluating quarterbacks in this draft class seriously. They're also evaluating quarterbacks on the free agent side. Maybe a Mitchell Trubisky to bring in for some backup depth or competition. Who knows? He knows him well from working with him in Buffalo. Maybe they draft a quarterback. I don't necessarily think they will. They might evaluate these quarterbacks in this upcoming draft class, but the class isn't that deep from what I'm hearing, from what I've heard really all season long. Maybe they get like a Sam Howell from North Carolina late, mid-third, fourth round. I don't think they're going to jump the gun in the first, fifth, or seventh overall picks, taking a quarterback there. I maybe even expect an O-lineman and maybe a safety if Kyle Hamilton's still there. But yeah, that right now is very telling. I mean, it could just be, just not trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass. Not trying to get these players too overly confident. He is a new GM. He did not draft Daniel Jones. That was Dave Gettleman and company. So he really has no ties to the guy, but he sees him every day. He says Jones is the first one in the building alongside Joe Schoen himself. He's in there at 5 a.m. working out. He's really like the mainly only player besides Shepard, constantly in the building, constantly getting worked on, rehabbing his neck injury that he suffered last season. He says all good things about Jones, but for right now, that key word is right now. And I don't know what that means. I personally think it means that for right now, he's the quarterback. Tomorrow, things could change. Maybe something happens. Maybe Daniel Jones gets traded. Maybe he slips and falls and breaks his leg. No one knows, but that right now is very telling. Now, I don't want that comment to get Daniel Jones discouraged. I still think he will be the starter going forward as soon as this season is underway. But I think he will get some competition reps in practice. I think we might sign a Mitchell Trubisky, maybe even another backup. But yeah, man, all things well said by Joe Schoen. I like to call him Joe Cool. He just looks like a stud hire. I'm very happy so far with what I'm hearing. It's always good when you hear other teams praise your hirings. No one really praised Joe Judge besides Belichick. No one really praised GM Dave Gettleman when we hired him. But everyone's really praising the hiring of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, as well as Mike Kafka. Speaking of Mike Kafka, Brian Daboll also spoke to the media yesterday, and he was still unsure on who was going to call the plays, who was going to be the play caller for this upcoming season. It's something that he said him and Mike Kafka will have to work out and collectively agree upon. But I expect maybe from the get-go, Daboll will maybe start calling plays. But who knows? I mean, it's a long time from now. Maybe we'll see when practice starts and players start to gel. Maybe Daniel Jones likes hearing Mike Kafka's voice in his helmet over Daboll. And maybe that'll free up Daboll, just spend more time on the team collectively and, just focus on all aspects of the team and the game. But, yeah, just want to hop on here and just discuss the two pressers from yesterday's press conference. I'm really happy, man. I'm thrilled. The more I hear Joe Schoen speak, the more that I think we got the hire right. And before I end this, another thing. If you follow Giants Talk or Talking Giants on Instagram, if you haven't already, they post some really good content, especially from the media and along with the Giants side of things. Another really cool information that I heard was they asked Joe Schoen about his draft process and how he creates his big board. And they said the Giants are working on an interactive draft board where you can have your entire big board on a computer screen, touch screen, smart board or whatever. You click on a player, say you click on Evan Neal. You click on his name, highlights immediately start popping up. All the scouts, pros and cons are all on the screen. And as soon as he gets picked or anyone gets picked from the draft, that player automatically just gets removed from the board. They don't have to do anything, which making this draft process probably for them a whole lot easier Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge were always by the paper and pen. They weren't having interactive draft boards. So I'm excited that Joe Schoen's bringing the 2022 technology to the Giants. It's about time we have something like that. I remember during COVID when they had to do drafts from home, that over Zoom, that Dave Gettleman had a trapper keeper of probably 1,000 punched out pieces of paper and a little monitor for a computer. That is the old century way. There's a reason why he has terrible drafts. Interactive draft board seems like the way to go for me. I feel bad for all those fellow IT guys that probably had to set it up and learn on the fly how it's all used. But I think that's really great. I was pretty happy and thrilled when he mentioned that interactive draft board. It just seems like a great idea. Hey, you want an interested player? Oh, let's go back to that one guy. Let's see what Hannah Burnett, the South Jersey, the South North, whatever region she covers. Let's see what Hannah says about this player. So let's bring up Kyle Hamilton. All right, we like 4 scouts like this guy. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into it because I really don't know exactly how it works. But basically, he just said it will make our draft process a whole lot easier, a whole lot smoother process. And hey, anything to make the Giants draft easier and make our GM and scouts draft the right player, I'm all for that. But anyway, guys, I don't want to keep you too long, but just make sure you go out and check on Giants.com. Check out that presser. I think you'll really start to really like Joe Schoen and how he operates and talks. But anyway, guys, it is Wednesday. Enjoy your day. The week is almost over. As always, go G-Men.